podcast. This is where I talk about all things to do with crochet and knitting and all of stuff relating to yarn and craftiness and all of the stuff that I absolutely love. My name is Ali. I live in the very southeast of England, in the county called Kent, with my husband and our two daughters. I'm going to say right now that I've already filmed half of this podcast and then I ran out of memory, so I went to take some stuff off of my memory card and deleted everything. Not only that, but the dishwasher leaked this morning, and it leaked so badly that it flooded under the kitchen cabinets, hit the earth wire and tripped the electrics, so we had a complete power cut for about 45 minutes. We've also had to deal with a spillage in Lilia's bedroom. She spilled ink all over her bed, duvet, pyjamas, mattress, everything. So we've had to deal with that little disaster. And now I've deleted my podcast, which I've just spent an hour filming. So who knows how the rest of this episode is going to go. I'll have to just apologise in advance for what's clearly going to be a disastrous one. Also my hair, also a disaster because we're in lockdown 3.0 here in the UK and the hairdressers are all closed and I'm not very good at cutting my own fringe. So we're just going to have to work with it. All of the show notes for everything that I talk about are underneath this video in the description box. So if there's anything I talk about and you want to find out a little bit more, I do try to link or at least mention everything so you know what you're searching for. Underneath, you just got to click that little chevron down button, which is somewhere down under the video, and it will all magically appear. If you're down there, make sure you press like, just a little reminder. It helps the video reach a bigger audience and it helps the channel, so that's really handy. Thank you for doing that if you've already done it. If you're not already subscribed, please feel free. And you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Starry Eyes Ali. I'm going to talk today about, I pretty much know a lot of this off by heart because I've already done it, but I'm not going to talk about any finished objects because I don't have any. It's only been a couple of weeks since the last podcast and I've been very busy with homeschool and work, so I haven't had a lot of time to get stuff finished. But I'm doing very well with the works in progress. I've got plenty of those to talk about, so lots of works in progress to discuss today. Oh, and I've got a new one, a pair of socks, and I'm stuck and I need your help. So if you're a knitting expert, please hang around because I think I'm going to need your advice. I have no idea what to do, and I'm going to ask you. I'm going to announce the giveaways from the last episode, and I've got a fantastic new giveaway. It's a very exciting one to announce, so stay tuned for that. I've got a couple of little incoming things. I'm going to talk about some books and stuff, so sort of stuff I'm reading, stuff I've finished, stuff I'm starting, stuff I'm listening to, watching, that kind of thing. I'm bringing back the Box of Singular Loveliness. Now, if you're fairly new to the channel, you may not know what the Box of Singular Loveliness is. It's this underwhelming box. And in it is a special skein of yarn, which I've only got one of. And I used to do this quite often. I used to select a special skein of yarn and we used to have a look at it and decide what I could make with it. And I kind of stopped doing it. So I'm reinstating it. We're going to talk about the special yarn that's in this box. Sparkly box. And by the way, if the lighting is weird, it's because it is weird. Because I'm in my bedroom. It's Saturday, which is about the only time I have to podcast these days. The girls have got their drama school on Zoom, so Phoebe, my youngest, is downstairs right underneath me in the living room doing her Zoom classes for drama school, which means it gives me a bit of an opportunity to come and film a podcast because the rest of the time I'm never alone. I'm either homeschooling, cooking or working or hoovering. So where was I going with that? Oh yeah, the lighting. So I'm up in my bedroom, but it's Saturday afternoon and for some reason the sun is really low in the sky and it's been really dark until the moment I pressed record about an hour and a half ago, and then the sun started beaming in, so I've had to shut one of the curtains. So if the light's a bit weird, I apologise. As soon as the sun goes behind the clouds, I'll open the curtain up again. And then right at the end, I'm going to talk about anything I like, my and finally section, a little bit of waffle about life stuff and other stuff, and is there any other stuff other than life stuff? Just stuff, and pom-poms. There's going to be stuff and pom-poms in and finally, so stay tuned for that. If you hear my chair creaking, it's because I got a creaky chair from the kitchen, which I brought upstairs to sit on. And let's get started with, well, not finished objects because I haven't got any. Let's get straight into works in progress. The first work in progress I want to show you is living in my Piggy's Market bag, which I bought myself a year or so ago. And I bought it because it reminds me of our trip to Denmark, the area of Denmark where we were in. There was lots of bikes. These colours remind me of Denmark. The bikes themselves remind me of Denmark because, you know, everyone goes everywhere by bike where we were. And just a wonderful holiday. And I love this bag. And her bags are gorgeous. There's her little tag there, Piggy's Market. Beautiful. I first heard about her on Kaz's podcast, the We So and So. She's a Scottish knitting podcaster. Okay, and in here is another slight disaster. Well, no, it's not a disaster. It's just had its disasters. It's the hat that doesn't want to be knit, basically. It's the Molly Hugh hat, which is a pattern by Shiny Superhero. Her name is Shin. She's Danish. She's in Denmark. And my copy of it is really, really terrible, but I'll hold it up nonetheless to give you an idea. It's a beautiful colourwork hat. It's a paid-for pattern. It comes in 3 sizes and it's designed to be made with 2 strands of fingering weight yarn held double, so effectively a DK weight. So the first thing that went wrong, if you watched last time you'll know this already, was that I made the entire hat and loved it, loved making it in fingering weight yarn and didn't hold it double because I'm an idiot. I love the hat, I loved making it. I'm not going to ruin my lockdown hair anymore by sticking it on my head just now. But then I finished it and realised it's too small, the gauge is all wrong and blah blah blah. And I don't like the colour. I've inherited my dad was, my parents are Scottish, so I've got the Scottish translucent skin. My dad was a redhead. So I didn't get the hair, but I got the pale skin and the freckles. And this colour just makes me washed out. Just makes me look, I don't know. I don't think it suits me, basically. That was a very long-winded way of saying this colour doesn't suit me. So I didn't like that, and I didn't think the contrast was quite high, dramatic enough contrast either. It was fine though, because I really enjoyed making it. I wasn't like bothered about needing to make it again. It was also a relatively quick knit. So back to the drawing board I went, and I kept the orangey, pinky, yellow yarn, which is Knitologie by Knitcrate in the colourway Citrus Squeeze. This was a gift from my friend Annette, who is also Danish. This is a bit of a Danish themed project, isn't it? And I mixed it this time with a DK green, unidentified green, which was a gift, and I think it was from you, Carla. But I may be wrong. Please do feel free to correct me. There we are, there's the green. And the contrast it's giving me is brilliant. Now, I think that sun has gone in now, so I'm going to risk opening the curtain and getting a bit of a better light. Hold on. That's a bit better, isn't it? Hopefully that, there's a big black cloud now. So hopefully it'll stop bothering me now. It's kind of going that way, so it should sort of go out of the beaming into the bedroom zone. Yeah, so the contrast I'm getting with this yarn is amazing. This is everything I wanted when I thought about doing it. Now, I'm new to colour work, so I'm sure I've made plenty of errors in doing it. I knit Continental, and I hold both the yarns in my left hand, and I just separate them on my finger and I grab them as I need them. I risked it too soon. I'm gonna have to shut that curtain again. Honestly, if I hadn't stopped dry January on Tuesday, I'd be stopping it today. I did well. I made, what is it, 20 days? 19 days? It's not bad. But there's only so much dry January you can do when you're up to your eyeballs in work and homeschool and stress. So yes, I did cave, and I will be caving later today as well. Where was I? Yes, the hat. So I'm new to colour work. I knit it with my left hand. I did try to kind of teach myself to hold it one yarn in this hand, one yarn in this hand. That did not work for me. I did not find it comfortable. So I taught myself to do it holding both strands on one finger. I don't know how that's going to work if I ever do colour work with more than 2 colours, but I'm very happy with how it works with 2 colours. I'm really pleased with it. I love the fabric I've got as well, and I'm going to talk about further problems I've had in a minute. Isn't that glorious? Look at that pattern. It is just amazing. And look at the rim, is a folded brim. So you don't do rib, you knit, well, you're supposed to knit this section here that's orange, it's supposed to be green. I read the pattern wrong, that's another thing I did wrong. And then you fold it over, and then you knit the colour work bit, and then you fold it over and you sort of stitch them together and you get a folded brim. Oh, it's just so lovely, and it's so squidgy. I love it. So I did that, and then I put it on waste yarn and took it off the needles, tried it on, and it felt huge. So I decided to knit, having done the swatch, I decided to knit size 1. When I previously did it, I'd knit size 2. And I'm also using 2.5mm needles, whereas the pattern calls for 4mm. Now, I'm a very loose knitter, but even for me, I thought 2.5 seemed quite excessive. However, like I say, I love the fabric that I'm getting. And I've taken it off since. I took it off when I got to about here, put it on waist yarn, put it on my head. It feels snug, but not terribly tight. But I am worried about my row gauge. I don't want it to be a really flat beanie against the top of my head. I would like a bit of wiggle room. So I'm going to knit it to the point where I'm about to do the decreases. And then I'm going to take it off again and see where I am and see if I can maybe jiggle it so that I do a bit of an extra few rows before I start the decreases. But we'll worry about that when we get to it. And if it doesn't fit perfectly, I would be more than happy to knit it again for a third time, because honestly, I am loving colour work. Loving it, especially this kind of nice, easy colour work. I think the biggest gap between colours, so the biggest sort of space where you knit all one colour is 6 stitches. So I have to catch the floats there, but otherwise it's sort of 2 stitches, 3 stitches, 4. And I don't really have to catch the floats at that point. My floats, by the way, look like this. I'm sure they are not in any way anywhere near perfect, but I am a beginner and they're not too bad and they're not too tight. They're not affecting, how the hat stretches or pulling the stitches or anything like that. So far, I'm very pleased, even though at every turn I seem to make a wrong choice, and the pattern is beautiful. So I'm really pleased with it. And hopefully by next time it will be finished. Have I got anything else I want to say about that? No, it just says in capital letters, show bag, because I forgot to show the bag last time. I'm terrible at whittering on about the projects and forgetting to show the bag it's living in. But the next project I've got to show you is actually not in a bag, it's in a box. So, in this cardboard box, it's a Christmas box, it says ho 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 on it to prove that it's a Christmas box. I have 11 yarns. There should be 12, but one of them is on the floor by my feet because it's currently in play, which I shall show you in a minute. I've got 11 yarns here, 12 if you count the one on the floor. They are BTS themed yarns and they're each 50 grams. And this was an incredible, generous surprise gift from someone who I can say is my friend, Kay James of the Bakery Bears. If you don't watch, the Bakery Bears are like a kind of knitting and lifestyle program. I don't think I can call it a podcast really, because it is like a program, it's like a Sunday night program that you would watch. They talk about knitting, they talk about history, they talk about walking, they talk about books. It's a whole thing. And Kay actually talks about yarn dyeing techniques. She does a whole segment, a whole series throughout their episodes where she talks about how to dye yarn. So I'm going to show you some of the yarns and I'm going to explain the story behind why I have this. So I'm not going to show you all of them close up, but I'll show you that on the last day I got a beautiful yellow one, which I'm sure she did on purpose because yellow is my absolute favourite colour. Sparkly as well. Look, I mean, honestly, how beautiful is that? And all sort of beautifully caked up. And this one is called, this colour is called Wishing You a Dynamite Christmas. Now I'm not going to explain these names yet. I'm going to let you see if you can work it out before I tell you in a minute. Mike dropped round for a sherry and a mince pie. Cozy winter army warmers. What could that mean? Sugar topped mince pies. Let's do one more. So pretty. That one is I Believe in Christmas Magic. Now, If you're like completely in the dark going, no, that doesn't mean anything to me, I shall explain. Kay and I have kind of become friends for a shared love, obviously, of what we all love, of knitting and talking about knitting and crochet and just crafty stuff. And the fact that our daughters are both exactly the same age. They're both, well, Lydia's almost 15 and Kay's daughter Bryony is 15. And they are both huge, obsessive fans of the Korean K-pop group BTS. They both absolutely love it. They are, as they call themselves, as all BTS fans call themselves, they are ARMY. And they have their biases. You don't have favourites, you have a bias. I believe Bryony's is Taeyoung and Lilia's is J-Hope. Now, Kay is a lot better than I am at paying attention to all of this. I'm rubbish. I tend to just smile and nod when Lilia talks about them. They've all got about 5 different names. They've got like their own names, their stage names, their nicknames. I can't keep track. And it seems that they all keep dyeing their hair different colours, but they all keep doing it. So one day some of them might be blonde, some of them might have pink hair, some of them might have blue hair, green hair, lavender hair. I can't keep track. But whenever they change their hair, it's enough, you know, that she has to come down the stairs to let us know. It's exciting, but I never know what she's on about. So she's a huge fan, and so therefore so is my youngest daughter Phoebe. And Kay sent this, and it was such a generous gift because it's such a personal gift. She knew how important that is to Lilia, my daughter, and Phoebe. And she wrapped them all up beautifully, and they had little pictures of BTS in with each of the yarns. They're all BTS themed, you know, that she's dyed them with that in mind. And every other day during Advent, me and the girls sat down and we opened them together and we talked about them, and they explained to me what the names meant if I wasn't sure. But for example, Have a Dynamite Christmas. Dynamite is the name of one of their most successful songs. Believe, B is the name of one of their albums, and so on. Suga is one of the members of BTS. And it was such a personal, lovely gift. And it was a lovely memory that she kind of gave us for Christmas. So thank you, Kay. It meant a lot. It meant a lot to us, and the girls were absolutely thrilled. And they know what they want me to make them. Now, I was making my Advent blanket, my crochet Advent blanket during Advent with a couple of Advent swaps I did. And I knew what I wanted to do with these yarns. I kept changing my mind, but I kept coming back to the same thing. And that was I wanted to make the Dynamite mitts, which is also one of Kay's patterns. She released it in January, and she very kindly gave me a copy as a gift. And I knew that I wanted to make those for the girls, and that's what the girls really wanted as well. They love mitts, they love arm warmers and stuff like that. They wear them all the time. So I started on that, but I've got my gauge wrong again. I don't know what's wrong with me. So here they are. Ooh. So the yarn that was missing from the Advent is this beautiful one. Oh, can you see that sparkling? Focus. Oh, look how sparkly. You can really see how much sparkle it's got on it. It must be the weird light. And that one is called, I think that's Rocking Around the Christmas V. V is the name of one of the members of BTS. And I started on the mitt. And basically it's a mitt inspired by the old shale, is it old shale or old shale lace? It's quite difficult to say that, old shale. Sounds like a tongue twister. One of the, I think it was Taeyoung, Bryony's favourite, was wearing a jumper with the old shale sort of motif on it, just a cream jumper. And Kay designed mitts using that motif. They're just a really simple mitt. I think they just come in one size. And that's what I'm making. I'm striping the yarn, and she gives instructions in the pattern for how to stripe them, you know, how many rows of each stripe. Oh, I'm all tangled. So I put this on waste yarn to try them on because I was thinking that they looked a bit too big, and they are. I mean, you could probably get away with it, but you don't want them to be so baggy that they're falling off your hands. So you can just about see the pattern emerging there. I'm only on a few rows in. But it's looking lovely. But I took it off the needles last night because I just wanted to double check that I was right, that it was feeling a bit too big. So I'm going to go down. I was using 2.5mm needles, which is the needle recommended, but like I say, I knit very loosely, so I think I'm going to have to go down to 2.25, which is fine. I'm knitting them on DPNs because that's my preference. That's how I like to knit things like mitts and socks. But I was using these and I really enjoyed them. These were a gift as well from Annette, who I mentioned before, who had gifted me the orangey pinky yarn in my Molly Hugh hat back in 2019. She sent me some Knit Pro Smart Sticks, and they're marked. The colours are all an inch long, and they're supposed to help you with gauge and things. And they're kind of coated, so they're not very slippery, which I actually quite liked. I quite liked how it felt to knit with them. So I was a bit sorry to have to put them away because I was enjoying them, the Smart Sticks. So I'd use those again. I might see if I can get some in a 2.25 to try for knitting socks. Because I did enjoy those. I'll put those there because I need to put them back in my needle box. So I'm going to rip this out later and start again. The only 2.25mm needles that I have at the moment are my longer ones, which are, because you can get DPNs in 15cm and I think 20cm. I can't remember. And these are the longer ones, which I bought once just to try. And they are quite a bit longer, and it can feel like you're wrestling a bit more with that hedgehog because they're longer. But I actually really do like them because you feel a lot safer with not losing stitches off the end, you know. And I had my friend Rachel make me a special, me Rachel, she made me a special extra long DPN cozy. So they're not living in a bag, they're just living in a box. They're living in a cardboard box. Don't sing on the podcast. Honestly, I need to put that on a sticker and put it on my tripod because I end up doing that. Every vlog, every podcast, don't sing on the vlogs. Don't sing on the podcast. That is my dynamite knits, and hopefully I might even have a pair ready to show you next time I talk to you, because I think that's going to be quite a quick project once I get the right gauge. I've not made any progress. Now, last time I talked about my Ziggy Interrupted short, I haven't started it. I do want to. I've got it here, but I won't show it because I haven't even wound up the yarn. But I really want to get started. I've just not been in that kind of zone. I've not really been in a crochet zone, which is not like me. I love crochet, although that's about to change with amigurumi, which I'll talk about shortly. But I've been making some socks. I cast on these just because I had the yarn and it was a new year and I was feeling a kind of let's clear the decks and get things done kind of mood. And when I first started knitting socks, I actually cast these on and messed them up, and then thought, no, I'll have to come back to that when I'm a bit more experienced with sock knitting. And I thought, well, I'll definitely be able to do that pattern now. It's living in this glorious bag. Oh, this is by Conchetta of Butternut Handmade. And she has donated a prize every year of the sock along so far. Here's her little label inside there, Butternut Handmade. Oh, just beautiful. It's the perfect sock size and the print is just gorgeous. I love it. And in here is living the Wildflower and Honeycomb socks. Oh, I didn't write down who designed it, but I'm pretty sure it's This Handmade Life. It's a paid for pattern, so I've had it for years, so I must have had it for about 4 years. And I've also had a ball of yarn balled up for at least 3 years. Now, I know you're not supposed to do that, and it was quite tightly wound as well, and I was getting a bit worried about it, like it was going to go off or something. So I thought, right, I better knit with it and see what happens. So I started, and I was going great guns. It was going brilliantly. I'm knitting 2 at a time, 2 concurrently. So I knit, like I say, I knit on DPNs. So I am up to the same point on both socks. Oops, see, I've got me 2 DPN holders. This one is made by my friend Naomi of Cozy Cute Knits. There she is. And this other one is made by my friend Cherie of Ollie and Bella. There we go. Got very lucky to have such clever friends who can make these things. And I've got up to, I've done the leg, which I've done a bit shorter than the pattern just because I prefer a shorter leg in my socks because I wear skinny jeans and they fit nicely under my jeans. And I've done the heel. Actually, that one is a bit behind the other one. So that one I've done up to the heel, and the other one I've actually done up to the heel, and I've got back into the round ready to do the decreases, the gusset decreases. So The yarn, by the way, is Little French Meadow. It's called Lemon Drizzle Cake, or no, Lemon Drizzle. It's actually a very subtly yellow yarn. The light's a bit weird, so I don't know if it's going to pick up as being yellow or if it's just going to look natural coloured, but it's also sparkly. And it's absolutely beautiful. I won't know until I edit whether that colour has come out or not, but it is just a beautiful subtle pale yellow, and it's such a lovely colour. Little French Meadow don't dye anymore, so you can't get it. That feels like, so you can't get it. No. Well, I didn't mean it like that. And it's got this beautiful heel. That's the honeycomb heel there. That was fun to do. And then it's got this beautiful flower pattern, which is all a chart, which was also fun to do. Very simple. I don't know how I messed it up when I was back as a beginner, but I suppose you do with these things. You learn how to keep track, don't you, now? So I've got back in to do the gusset decreases, which I'm fine with. And I've got to start knitting in pattern across the top of the foot. Again, that's fine. Now I am making the smallest size, which is 56 stitches. When you do the heel, and I double check the pattern, you have half of your stitches on the back to work your heel. So I've worked my heel on 28 stitches. 5, 6. Yeah, that's half of 56. So on the front, I've got 28 stitches, which is the other half. That makes sense? You divide in half, you do the heel on one half, and the top of the foot is still on the front half. Are you with me so far? And it's time to start working in pattern. But the pattern is, I've written this out, it's an 8-stitch repeat. So I'm so confused by this that I'm just checking that I've written that down right. So I've got 28 stitches to knit across, but the pattern is an 8-stitch repeat. Now, I am rubbish at maths, and I am reminded of how rubbish I am daily because I'm homeschooling a 10-year-old who's doing KS2 maths, which is way beyond my capabilities. Thank goodness. Thank goodness Dan is good at maths, because don't even get me started on Lilia's KS3 maths. I have no idea what she's doing. But even I know that 8 doesn't go into 28. It would be 16, 24. It goes in 3, remainder 2. No. 3, remainder 4. So what do I do? How do I make an 8-stitch repeat work on something that doesn't divide by 8? And not only that, I can't show you because it's paid for pattern, but you can't, I thought, oh, that's no problem. What I'll do is I'll just do it so that I can, you know, put the, it doesn't work basically because it goes across. I don't know how to do it, help. I can't even explain my problem. But if 8 doesn't divide into 28, then I can't do an 8-stitch repeat, can I? Because I go 8, 8, 8. Oh, I've got 4 stitches left. What do I do now? Help. Have you knit these, the wildflower and honeycomb socks? I know I could message the designer, but I thought I'd ask you first. Just in case you're like, don't worry, I've knit them. I know exactly what your problem is. Here's what you need to do. And I'm like, oh, thanks very much. Yeah, I'm so confuddled by that. And there's nothing in the pattern to say that. And it must work for other sizes. So what's the next size up from? Yeah, so the next size up from 56 stitches is 60, which means you'd have 30. No, that doesn't work either, does it? Because 8 doesn't go into 30. What about 64 then? Yeah, so yeah, the only one that would work with is 64 stitches, because then 32 divides by 8, doesn't it? Yeah, 8, 16, 24, 32. Yeah. I should change don't sing on the podcast to don't do maths on the podcast. But if anyone can help me, please do. Please leave me a comment or drop me an email or something. I would love to finish these socks because I was going brilliantly. I think I knit up to this point in like 3 days, and I was like, well, hey, I'm going to have a pair of socks to show off. I'm going to be like, oh, hey, I haven't seen you in 2 weeks, but I've knit an entire pair of socks, aren't I brilliant? And then maths. So let's just hide it in the pretty bag and wait for help to come in. Right, what's next on the list? We're now past the bit where I filmed it before, so we're on new ground now. So who knows what will happen. Harry Styles cardigan. A few people asked me about the Harry Styles cardigan. So this is not a whip that I have been making. It's a collaboration between me and my mum. She did the knitting because she loves knitting different squares and stuff like that. So she did, they're not actually squares, they're strips. So the Harry Styles cardigan was a big sort of thing that trended on TikTok or somewhere, and so many people were trying to work out how to make this cardigan that Harry Styles wore at a rehearsal. And the designer was so impressed with people's creativity, it was J.W. Anderson, they released the pattern. So Lilia really fancied the idea of it. So in this gigantic M&S bag here is all the pieces completed for the Harry Styles cardigan, and they're all bagged up according to sections, but you knit everything separately, including even like the cuffs. So this is the front, what does that say, front rib. Okay, so that's, I don't know what that means, I'll have to look at the pattern. And then this is another bit of ribbing as well, and then you've got all the sections. So my mum hates seaming things together, but she likes the knitting, so she did the knitting on the proviso that I would then sew it all together. So that is a job for next week, is sewing together the Harry Styles cardigan. So I thought what I might do is make an extra little vloggy video for this channel, a little Woolality TV video, which I haven't done in a while, about how I'm going to work it all out, sew it together, and how I'm going to fit that in with everything else that's going on next week. That might be a fun video to make. It's a free pattern if you're interested as well. Just Google J.W. Anderson Harry Styles cardigan. If I remember, and if I can, I'll put a link to it underneath. So yeah, for everybody that's asked, thank you very much for your interest in it. That's where it is. I do have it. The knitting is complete, and now it's over to me for the seaming. So I better not mess it up. Ooh, right. Giveaways and all that jazz is what I've written here. Basically, I wanted to say all the Strictly prizes that have been claimed are now on their way to you. They were posted last week. Some of you have already been in touch to let me know you've received them, which is brilliant. Thank you. If you do have the time to do that, I'd love to know you've received them safely. It's really good to know. Some are still unclaimed. Not many. I think there's only a couple. So if you did take part in a Strictly Sock Along, go and watch the last episode, episode 71. All the prize winners were announced there. So if you haven't watched it, you might be a winner. A winner, baby, as a RuPaul would say, but in a much better way. And if you've won a skein from Lay Family Yarn, I've been in touch with Kelly about how we're going to coordinate that, and I will be in touch with you again soon. I think I've already messaged all of you, but I'll get back in touch to let you know what to do. And as usual, if you have sent me a message anywhere and I haven't replied, I'm really sorry. I'm just really, really bad at replying to messages. I get a little bit overwhelmed sometimes. I love hearing from you, but it's just because of the day job, really, and homeschooling at the moment. I don't have any time to just go, right, I'm going to make myself a cup of tea and sit down here at this computer and catch up on messages, because I don't have that time in my day. And I really wish I did, because it's one of the greatest joys of doing a podcast is getting messages and reading them and responding and having a little chat with people. But so I'm really sorry, and thank you for your lovely messages. Okay, winners of the giveaways from last time. We had 2 giveaways last time. The first one was to win the Little Snowman pattern by Alyssa of Aenea's Toy Box. It's so cute. I think I want to make it for next Christmas. I'm really tempted to start making things now for next Christmas. Just pop them away. Even socks. Like, I've got this yarn that I dyed. Hang on. I've got a little pile of yarns over there which are all Christmas related, because I was going to try and knit some socks in December. Pipe dream. But one of them was this yarn which I dyed, and I solar dyed it at the height of summer. So it was back when the weather was so unbearably hot, and I hate summer. I can't even tell you how much I hate summer. I hate everything about it. That doesn't mean that I'm right. You might hate winter or another season, but honestly, I find it hard to survive in summer. So I dyed this yarn thinking that when I knit it, I could knit it in the colder months, autumn, winter, spring, and sort of think about how it's not unbearably hot, and maybe plan getting an air conditioner, a portable air conditioner, because we don't have air conditioning in our homes here. That doesn't help either. So I planned these to be Christmas socks, but I never got round to it. But I see it every day. It's right next to my side of the bed, and every day I look at it and all I can think of is Pebbles and Pathway socks by Hey Brown Berry. I've got that pattern sitting in my Ravelry library. Is it called Pebbles and Pathways? I'm sure. If it isn't, I'll correct myself on the screen. And every time I see this yarn, every day I think Pebbles and Pathways socks. And I don't know why, but that's what I've got in my head for this yarn. And I think I'd quite like to do that and call them Christmas socks and put them away and then sort of give them to myself at like the end of November so I can wear them in December. I know that people do box of socks, and I've probably got quite enough Christmas yarn to knit myself a box of socks, but I'd quite like to do other things as well, other Christmassy things. Anyway, what a tangent to tell you the giveaway winner for the snowman pattern. So the winner, so it was in the comments, so everybody had to use the word snowman. I drew a winner using the comment picker website. And the winner was Teresa Young. Well done, Teresa. You have won a copy of that pattern. I have a code that I can send you so you can go and download it. I just need your email address, basically, or your Ravelry name, if you can get in touch with me. My email is littledropsofwonderful@gmail.com. It's in the description box underneath. Just drop me a line and I'll get that to you. Well done. And thank you so much, Alyssa, for donating a copy of your new pattern. That was really kind of you. Thank you. And the next giveaway we had was from Valerie Miller, who is Knitbug Val, and she's given me 4 codes for one each for 4 winners. I never know how to say that. There were 4 winners. Each of you have won a pattern, and I have codes to send each of you, which I can do on Ravelry. So I'll just do that straight away. It'll be a nice surprise for you. And the winners are Gogvida, Harkness Angels, Nicola Knits, and Evelyn 001. And the prompt was, tell me something you like about January. So I screenshotted what you all said this morning so that I can tell everybody, in case I love January, but I know not everybody does. So I wanted to share a little bit of the joy of January. So Nicola Knit said, I love every season and every month has qualities that make it worth appreciating, which is very true. And that makes me feel very bad for saying I hate summer. Because it's true, even I really genuinely do not like summer. I struggle with it, but even I can appreciate the good stuff about it, like going away on holiday, spending time with family, time outside, the wildlife, growing things in the garden, all of that. I can appreciate all of that, and you are of course right, Nicola. January is a time of deep winter, which in my part of the world often means snow and sub-zero temperatures. In fact, I sometimes feel cheated when it doesn't get really cold, like winter didn't really do things properly. The kind of cold when you go out for a walk, the glare from the sun on the snow makes you squint and your nose hairs freeze. I love that, Nicola. That's such a lovely entry into the thread. What did the others say? Harkness Angels. Thank you, Ali and Valerie. You're welcome. I haven't done anything. It's all Valerie. I love cozying up by the fire, especially if there's snow. Hot beverage right next to me and surrounded by my crochet and knitting projects. The twinkle lights are on, candles are lit, and listening and watching to podcasts. I also love celebrating my twins' birthday. These are some of my favourite things about January. That is so lovely. I love how everybody's just like really got into the spirit of that. I really enjoy reading these things. Okay, number 19 and 26. Okay, Gogvida. That's your Ravelry name, not your real name. I love the beginnings of longer days in January. We started to notice it is a little brighter a couple of days ago. The best is a cold sunny day and the crunch of snow under one's boots. The crisp air feels fresh and invigorating. It's great. Oh, I really like that. Although I'm not so keen on the longer days, but I'll let you have that. And then number 26 was Evelyn 001. I love it that the dark weeks of December are over and that the days are finally getting longer again. Yay. I'm always looking forward to the time that we get more daylight again. And I think a lot of people feel exactly the same. I know a lot of people do struggle with the shorter days and darker nights, which are the things that I love. So it was so nice to hear, read everybody's comments and entries. So thank you to everyone. So to the 4 winners, I'm going to send you each a code, and you can go and choose one of Valerie's paid for patterns and go and enjoy it. Thank you so much, Valerie, for donating those prizes. Right, the sun has definitely gone in, so I'm going to open the curtain and I'm going to tell you about the next giveaway. You're going to love it. I mean, honestly, the millisecond that I open the curtain, how fast are those clouds? We watched Percy Jackson last night, the second one, and now I'm beginning to think Zeus is up there having a laugh, like when he turns the guy's wine into water. It's like every time she opens that curtain, let's just move a cloud to one side. The new giveaway. I got a lovely message 2 nights ago from Zoe, who is one half of the partnership that organises the Knit Tea Retreat here in the UK. Zoe has the Pins and Needles podcast, and she runs Cartref Yarn, that's a 100% Welsh yarn, which she runs with her friend Jennie, who is a yarn dyer herself, and she owns the company Owl About Yarn. And together they run the Knit Tea Retreat, I think twice a year, at different locations in the UK, which obviously they haven't been able to do due to COVID, and they're doing an online one this year in February. In fact, it's running the 19th to the 21st of February, which is Friday to Sunday. And they've given me, they've given me a ticket to go to the retreat. I've never been to a yarn retreat, a knitty retreat in my life, so I'm very excited about this. And they've given me a ticket to give away to one of my viewers. Now it's all online, so you don't need to go anywhere, don't need to pack a bag. You might just need to tell the people you live with that you're going to be otherwise engaged for the weekend. And there's talks and different things happening over the course of the weekend. There's going to be talks from Katie Westerman. She is, I believe she's a Scandinavian designer who lives in Scotland. Becky and Marcus of River Knits, Estelle of Midwinter Yarns. There's going to be Zoom Knit and Natters. There's going to be a marketplace on the Sunday. The ticket, you can choose to buy a ticket with or without a gift bag. The gift bag is extra, and they did that so they could keep the cost affordable for those who might otherwise not have been able to attend if the gift bag was included. So the prize, this giveaway, is just for the ticket. You don't get the gift bag, but you can buy one if you want. And if you want to, you've just got to get in touch with whoever the winner is. Get in touch with Zoe, and she'll arrange for you to be able to pay for that and get your gift bag. I'll be there. I don't think I'll be able to take part in the Zoom Knit and Natter on the Saturday night, just because of how things are for me on a Saturday night in this house. But I'm going to try and drop in. But I'm definitely going to be there for the talks and everything, and a little wander around the online marketplace. I think that's going to be really good fun, and I'm really interested to see how it all works. And sorry, I should have said at the beginning as well, the theme for the whole thing is Nordic retreat. So it has a Nordic knitting theme, a Nordic crafting theme, which I think is going to be really, really interesting. And I want to open this to everybody. I think I'll do it in the comments. I think that's okay. So just make sure when you are leaving a comment that you use the term Nordic retreat, and I will draw a winner before the next podcast, which will be in a couple of weeks' time. So you'll have, so what's the date today? The 23rd. So it'll be around sort of the 7th, 8th of February by the time I release the next podcast. So look out for it about then. I'll announce it. And then you'll still have a good 10 days or so to get yourself prepared for the retreat. So thank you so much, Zoe and Jenny, for that really generous giveaway prize, and good luck everybody, and make sure you leave that comment underneath, and we'll draw a winner for the next time, and I'll see you there, whoever wins. How exciting. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world, that's the other good thing. It's open to everybody because it's online. Exciting. Okay, let's move on. Have I got anything else I want to say? No. Let's move on to incoming. I mean, it's a fairly subdued incoming, which is good, because sometimes that can seem all a bit too much, can't it? What do I want? Oh, here it is. It was all blending in. There's a lot of lobster stuff around, and it kind of blended in a bit there. A lovely viewer of this podcast called Callie got in touch to ask if she could send a little something. It was a little while ago now, and it arrived. Oh, and it's just gorgeous. There's one part of this I don't have. I'll explain why in a minute. It was also beautifully packaged as well. So she sent me this gorgeous drawstring bag with lobsters on it. I have a bit of a lobster obsession. It's got drawstrings, it's got a lovely handle, it's got a little tag with the little clip on for putting your stitch markers and things, and it's got this beautiful nautical lining. It's so beautifully made. I love it. It's going to be perfect. Maybe I should put my dynamite mitts in here. Oh, I might do that actually. Yeah, I might put this straight into use for my dynamite mitts so that I'm not just carrying around a cardboard box. Yeah. So there was that, and then matching, she sent a little pouch, little zippered pouch, and it's got the same nautical lining but in a different colour, blue, and it's got, oh, it's just lovely with that lovely handle. Lots of possibilities for this. Really love this little pouch. She sent 2 DPN holders, slightly different. She said she sent 2 because she messed one of them up, but they both look absolutely perfect to me, so I disagree. I love them. And because Dan is still on at me to teach him to knit, we can have his and hers DPN holders if he ever moves on to DPNs. But the absolute best thing in this parcel, she made the most exquisitely made amigurumi objects. Now she sent 3 Christmas bears. You just get a little look there. She sent 3 Christmas bear key rings, and they are beautiful. They are so perfect. But what I've done is, when I was putting away the Christmas decorations, I kept them in their little bags that they came in, and I put them away with the Christmas decorations. I put the names on because everyone chose one, and I put the names on. So when we get the Christmas decorations out next year, we'll go, oh yeah, I forgot about these, and we'll get a lovely surprise all over again. So that's where they are. But look at the lobster. Oh my goodness. And I've got to show you close up just so you can see her stitches. I can't even begin to imagine. I mean, I do a lot of amigurumi, and this is just perfection. There isn't a gap. Must have used such a small hook. It is amazing. Now, Dan and I are doing our bedroom this year. We've been in this house for 6 years, and we've said we'll be doing our bedroom since day one. It was, to be fair, it was supposed to happen last year. Got a bit scuppered by COVID. So this is going to take pride of place in our new bedroom. But, well, actually it can take pride of place now. I'm going to put it on top of my chest of drawers so he can keep an eye on me when I'm getting my deodorant out in the morning. Have you got your deodorant on? Make sure you're wearing clean knickers. I'm going to put him over there. I'm going to chuck him in that direction. So thank you so much, Callie. We were blown away by how clever you are. And this lobster is amazing. But yeah, it's definitely going to be in the bedroom. Stan and I, lobster obsessed. And if you want to know why, I meant to say this at the beginning. Thank you so much to everybody who has left such nice comments or sent messages about the Q&A that I did with Dan just before Christmas. I completely forgot to mention it in the last episode. But yeah, we had a load of questions that we've been asked over the months, and then I sort of said, look, if anyone's got anything specific you want to ask, just drop me a comment or a message, and we wrote them all down, and then we did a sort of 45-minute to an hour Q&A where we answered all the questions, and your comments have been wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you enjoyed it, and we'd be happy to do it again if you have any more questions. We found it really fun to do, and it was really interesting to think about some of the questions, and it was interesting to see what people wanted to know and so on. So yeah, we'd happily do it again if we had enough questions to fill 45 minutes or so, but thank you. But we spoke about there, a couple of people had said, what's with the lobsters? What's all that about? And we explained why the lobsters. Okay, right. That was incoming. What else have I got in incoming? Oh yes, I bought a new book, but that leads me nicely on to books and stuff. I finished Clan of the Cave Bear. I went and had my COVID vaccination. And I don't know if I've already said this or not, because like I said, I've already filmed it twice. So I might have said it at the beginning of the first attempt and not said it at the beginning of the second attempt. So just in case, I went and had my first COVID vaccination, and I went on Saturday, just so a week ago today. It was fine, didn't hurt afterwards, my arm hurt, but I had no reactions, I didn't feel unwell, it was absolutely fine. The reason I got it so early is because I work for the NHS. I'm employed by an NHS trust, even though I don't work in a hospital, I work in a museum, and they want to vaccinate all of their staff. They have enough vaccinations to vaccinate everybody, and that's what they're going to do. So when we got the call, when you get the call, you go, don't you? When it's your turn, and you go. So that's why I got mine so early. I was very lucky, and I did sort of grapple with it a little bit. But I speak about that. I made a vlog about going to get it on my other channel, on This Little Wonderful Life. So I'll link that underneath if you're interested in seeing that. And I'll get my second one in April, and I hope that your countries and areas are all rolling it out as well. I know, for example, Dan probably won't get his until the summer. But I would really like to see my mum, who's 73, getting hers very soon. I think I feel a lot better once mum's got hers. Yeah, so where was I going with it? Oh yeah, so on the train, on the way to get my vaccination, I finished Clan of the Cave Bear. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, just amazing. So immediately I had to order the next one, which I've done and received. So I just picked up something else that's an incoming. I'll show you that in a minute as well. The next book is Valley of the Horses. So that has arrived. As you can see, it's quite the commitment. It is a big old book, as was Clan of the Cave Bear. I was really surprised that I got through Clan of the Cave Bear, because I don't consider myself as having enough time to do a lot of reading. I tend to just read in bed, and a lot of the time I just fall asleep. But I've been having trouble sleeping recently, so I've been up later reading, which is got the advantage of I managed to finish a book. So yeah, Valley of the Horses, I'm really looking forward to getting stuck in. But whilst I was waiting for this to arrive, I started another book, which is one I got for Christmas from Dan, and it is by Claudia Winkleman, and it is called Quite. And it's not a novel, it's basically a collection of articles and essays about things that she thinks on a variety of subjects, from summer to footwear, makeup, fashion, Strictly. She's one of the presenters of Strictly Come Dancing here in the UK. All kinds of different topics she just gives her opinions on, and she's so funny. I mean, she's very funny on television, but she's so funny as a writer, and quite often I'll be sitting in bed reading, laughing, and going, Dan will be saying, what are you laughing at? And I'll be like, she's just so funny, you know. She dedicated 3 pages only to the topic of summer, which she hates as much as I do, so I appreciated that. She describes herself as a short orange woman with a fringe. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah. On the back, all it says is pirate boots, melted cheese, a heavy fringe. Are these things important? I'm really enjoying it, and I'm whizzing through it. I'm almost halfway through it already. I've only been reading it for a few days. It's just, yeah, it's a really light-hearted, cheery, make you smile, make you laugh out loud, and make your partner jump book. I'm loving it. And then I also mentioned last time about David Olusoga. I'm listening to the audio version of the adult version of this book, which I haven't been doing recently because I normally listen to it in the car, because that's when I have time, and I'm not commuting to work at the moment because I'm working from home. So I put this on my bedside table thinking, oh, I'll pick that up. And what's happened is every night before Phoebe goes to bed, so Phoebe goes to bed at 9, and about 8:30, 20 to 9, she cleans her teeth, and then we get into our bed and we have a little cuddle and a chat and mess about, and sometimes we read. I write in my diary, she might write in hers. And she picked this up the other night and we started reading it together. So she's been reading this aloud. We've only read like the first chapter, but she's been reading it aloud to me and asking questions, and it's been really lovely. It's lovely when she just picked it up of her own accord and we can chat about the subjects around it. And also somebody messaged me to let me know that David Olusoga very, very recently was on Desert Island Discs. Now, I used to listen to Desert Island Discs religiously. I loved it. But I stopped listening so much when Lauren Laverne took over, because I always loved Kirsty. If you listen to Desert Island Discs, you'll know what I mean. Kirsty was, for me, Desert Island Discs was Kirsty. And it's not the same with Lauren Laverne. And I'm sure that she seems lovely, but she just, as an interviewer, just not as good as Kirsty. So I haven't really listened, but I did tune in. I've listened to about half of the one with David. And yeah, it was brilliant. He's a lovely person to listen to. He's a very interesting man. He's had a very interesting life. Yeah, really, really good Desert Island Discs. One of the good ones. Sometimes you listen to a Desert Island Disc and you're like, yeah, well, there you go. That's half an hour of my life I'm never getting back. But sometimes you listen to them and you just think, yeah, I've learned something from that and I've taken something away and I feel richer for having listened. So if you're interested in Desert Island Discs, it's on podcasts. It's definitely worth a listen. What what else have I written down for books and stuff? Okay, so I have, oh, we've been watching, right, I'm opening the curtain again. Haha, caught Zeus unaware. He's hiding behind a cloud now. We have been watching Scorpion. That was recommended by my friend Naomi. Dan and I have been watching that, and yeah, really enjoying it. It's very, very kind of light-hearted. Don't have to think about it. Can knit a colourwork hat while it's on. We've also been watching Drag Race, and we're very lucky at the moment because we've got the US Drag Race and the UK Drag Race on at the same time. So it's Drag Race-tastic at the moment. We love RuPaul's Drag Race, love it, and I just think it's a great show because it covers a subject in a way that's very honest and not sensationalist. It's not making a mockery of anything, or and it's really, it's eye-opening and full of heart, and and silly as well, and it makes us laugh at the same time, and we love it. It's just such a good show, and it's really lovely to have the UK version now as well. So we've been watching that. We've been watching The Masked Singer, which is literally we watch that every Saturday night as a family, and we love it. We love it, and we know. If you're watching The Masked Singer, how are they not knowing that Blob is Lenny Henry? Or is that just us? That is Lenny Henry. Because when he sings, he sounds like Theodore P. Wildebeest. Is that what the character was called? Do you remember Theodore P. Wildebeest? Anyway, the Blob has got to be Lenny Henry. Mind you, this is only going to mean stuff if you've actually watched the programme. The Swan, I was convinced was Nadine, that's it, Nadine Coyle. I was convinced the Swan was Nadine Coyle. Martine McCutcheon, who knew? Anyway, so maybe I'm wrong, maybe Blob isn't Lenny Henry. It is Lenny Henry, isn't it? So yeah, Masked Singer, one of the best things on telly. It is bonkers. And also podcast wise, I've talked about this over on my vlogs. I've been watching Wendy of The Unexpected Gypsy. I'll say she's an artist. She makes vlogs about being an artist and art journaling and lovely things, and she's just just seems to be such a lovely soul, and I think you'll like her. So I'm recommending that podcast to you. I love it. Whenever she uploads a video now, I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch that. That's what I'm going to watch whilst I'm chopping the potatoes. Zeus is back. It's literally, the sun shouldn't even really be up. It's coming up for 4 o'clock. I don't know what's going on. I really think I've angered the gods. What am I on about now? It's too much rambling. That's what's angered them. Okay, I think that's it for books and stuff. Let's very quickly do the last bits, which is the Box of Singular Loveliness, for which I've just written Wing It, and finally. Also, I forgot about this for incoming. Look what I got today in the post. I ordered some postcards so that I had some little notes for when I send out prizes and things. I got quite a big batch of them, so I've been putting them in with some of my orders that I was passing up today. So they haven't gone in all my orders, they only went in the orders that I was passing after these arrived. There's a little bit of a problem with them, otherwise I might sell some in my shop, just as a fairly low cost thing, because it'd be quite nice to send to someone, wouldn't it? In that there seems to be some bleed in the R, it's kind of grey, so they're not good enough to sell, but they're good enough for me to use to write notes, so I'm really pleased with them. So you might see these in the shop at some point once I've sorted out that little issue, if I can. Yeah, okay. The Box of Singular Loveliness is still the same skein that was in here the last time I talked about it. And I can make it reflect on my face like that. Because I can't remember now what everyone suggested, so I thought I'd just bring it out again, because the colours of this yarn. This was a fairly early skein of yarn, so it's pretty much deep stash. It was a gift from my sister. It is Knit Cosmic Strings. It was an Edinburgh-based yarn dyers. It's called Wabi Sabi, and it's 100% superwash merino, so I can't make socks. 100% superwash merino, and it's single ply, and the colour, like I say, is Wabi Sabi. It's so lovely. It's rather like reminiscent of the skies at the moment. It's kind of like luminous and grey at the same time. How gorgeous is that? But what will I make with it? Let me unravel it. Right, first of all, let me put it on my head to give you an idea of colours. and then let me unravel it to give you an idea of how it sits in the skein. There we go. Now, if there were socks, I would say that's probably going to give you kind of broken micro stripes, isn't it? Not quite stripes, but sort of broken stripes. But because there's no nylon, I don't really want to make socks. Do I want to make a scarf or a cowl of some kind? Might be nice. Quite like that. Do I want to make a hat of some kind? Or ear warmer? Do I want to make some mitts for the mitt along? Could make mitts, couldn't I? That might be a good idea. Ooh, yeah, sort of nice luminous mitts. What shall I make with the skein of loveliness? Leave your comments underneath with pattern suggestions, or if you're looking at it going, oh, I know exactly what you could make, I've got just the thing. Or maybe you've had this yarn and you've knit something and you're just like, it's amazing, this is what you need to make. I've made it before and this is what you need to make. Any ideas appreciated for Wabi Sabi. Smells lovely because there's a huge, huge thing of lavender in here. That's the Box of Singular Loveliness. Discuss. I don't know what that was. Okay, and finally, this is where I just talk about stuff I like, which is basically what I've just done for the last 11 billion minutes. So we'll just keep going. Amigurumi along. I very briefly mentioned last time, you know, should we maybe have an amigurumi along? Because I did a video all about amigurumi and a lot of people have been commenting that they would like to give it a go or they love doing it. I suggested we might want to have an along. I've just finished a Strictly Sock Along though, and that does take it out of me a bit, so I don't want anything massive. However, I do have to make some amigurumi over the next couple of months because Lilia has requested something for her birthday. My kids always get a handmade amigurumi for their birthday. I thought Lilia had kind of grown out of that, didn't make her anything last year, got a complaint. So now I have to make 2 things this year apparently. So I've got my big bag here. This is my Highland Coo bag by Julie of So Unique. It is beautiful, and I've even got my little Highland Coo badge that she sells in her shop. So Unique UK, I think she is. But the bag was a gift. I love it. Oh, focus. Here I am. And it's stuffed full now because there's double the amount of stuff that was in here last time. So last time I spoke about I'm going to make a jester or joker or whatever it's called. This little guy here from the book Mini Kingdom, Crochet 36 Tiny Amigurumi Royals by Olka Novistkaka. I've pronounced that wrong. But it's the little guy there with the hat. So that's what she had previously asked for. Oopsie. And there's so many gorgeous patterns in here that I pretty much just want to make everything. And then she also wants a Brachiosaurus wearing a polo neck, obviously. Brad, the Brachiosaurus. Here we go, there he is. And that is from the book Dinosaurs, Mammoths and More, Prehistoric Amigurumi, which you've seen before because I made Phoebe the Triceratops that is in here. But Phoebe also wants the mammoth, the strawberry eating mammoth. Max the mammoth eating his strawberries. And Lilia also wants me to make a little, what's the other Asaurus? Diplodocus for her boyfriend, because she calls him Diplodocus because he's very tall and stretchy. So she wants me to make him a Diplodocus. So I've got some colours for Brad, the Brachiosaurus. This is, I have this in stash, so I thought, ooh, it's all cotton. I like to make my amigurumi with cotton. It's not quite the colours in the picture, but it's close enough, and it means I can use stuff that's in stash. So I think this will be enough. I hope so anyway. And that is all, I think that's light worsted weight. And then for the jester, I've got some sort of, I think, is it DK or fingering weight? I can't remember. I won't start waffling about that. So I've got to make those and the mammoth and those. So I thought, well, if I've got to do that by Lilia's birthday, that's the 31st of March. So maybe we could have an amigurumi along kind of just for fun. And I'll open a Ravelry thread like now. And I'll just have one Ravelry thread so we can all chatter and post what we're making and stuff like that. And I can be flaky and keep forgetting to check it because that's what I'm good at. And anyway, we can have a chatter and share ideas and like what we're making, and just do that until the end of March, and I'll just draw one prize winner. I don't need any prizes. I've got some yarn, I've got some bags. I could make a dodgy bag and put in some pins and stuff like that. Just draw one winner at the end from one thread, and it can just be like mainly for fun, but with the chance of maybe winning one prize. What do you think? I'll go and open a thread and go and hop along if you're interested in joining in, and we'll do that until the end of March, and we'll have some fun making creatures. And it'd be really lovely at the end of March to maybe try and do a montage of all the creatures that were made in the amigurumi along. I could take all the pictures that were posted and maybe put them in a little moving montage. That might be good fun. What do you think? Let me know. Okay, I need your help with a decision about a pom-pom or pom-poms. So my Full of Minis hat, it's been quite cold here. We haven't had proper weather, but it has been hat weather. I made this a couple of years ago and I love it. It is so warm and so beautifully squidgy and bonkers. I made it with Advent yarn, mainly from a swap I did with my friend Cherie. I can't have my fringe in front of my eyes when I wear hats at the moment because of lockdown fringe. There we go. Let's disappear the fringe. There we go. I can see now. And I love this hat. I love it so much, but I feel it needs a bit of a finishing thing on the top. So I thought I was going to use one of my little creative sheep pom-pom. I did a swap with, oh, is that focusing? I did a swap with Anna, who is the lady behind Little Creative Sheep. She makes and sells amigurumi things, including members of BTS, by the way. And she included in her swap these little poppered pom-poms, which she makes herself. And I thought that would look pretty good. That nice dark contrast. Dan and Lilia think I should go double pom-pom and white. I think I'd feel ridiculous. So that's but also part of me also thinks I kind of love the idea. So do I go small furry woodland animal with fluffy ears? Whoops, I just dropped one. Or do I go sophisticated 40-something woman? I don't want to lead you in any way. But what do you think? Which pom-pom are we going to go for? Sophisticated or daft? Again, discuss. Oh dear, I said I wasn't going to mess my hair up, didn't I? And I've just done it. Finally, breathe a sigh of relief. We've reached the end. Oh, the view. The light over there. Right, if I finish talking quick enough, I'll quickly film the light to show you. I wanted to say a huge, huge thank you to everybody for their very kind comments on my last video and on the Q&A video that I've done, and anyone that's over on This Little Wonderful Life when you leave comments, or yeah, even if you're not leaving comments. I know I always say thank you for comments, but even if you're just watching and pressing the like button, even if you're just watching, thank you. Just thank you for being here on the other side of the screen. Thank you to everyone that's bought me a Ko-fi. That's incredibly generous of you. It makes a huge difference to me being able to continue to do this, and I appreciate every single person that does that. Thank you so much. And thank you for everyone that sent me messages. Again, I'm really sorry I'm slow to reply, but honestly it means so much to me to read your comments and get your messages, and I'm very, very grateful. I feel very lucky to be able to do this. And without wanting to sound like I'm making an Oscar speech, I did want to make sure that I do make sure I say thank you to you, because I wouldn't be sitting here doing this unless you were there watching, would I? I'd just be someone on her own in her bedroom talking about pom-poms. So yeah, thank you. And thank you to everybody who's ordered pins recently. I talked about my new style of pins last time. I put them in the shop, and loads of you have ordered them, and I'm really grateful. So yeah, thank you for supporting my little shop if you have done. And yeah, and just generally thanks for being here. Just thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you can thank me now, because I'm going to shut up. Everybody breathe a collective sigh of relief. I'm going to go now and tidy up the mess that I always make during filming. I'm going to try and film the view opposite, because the light has just changed to the most amazing light. I'm going to try and go and film that to show you. And then I'll see you in a couple of weeks when I will announce the winner of the Knit Tea Retreat ticket and waffle on again. Hopefully I'll have a finished hat, maybe some mittens and stuff to show you as well. But if you want to keep up with me in the meantime, make sure you hop over to This Little Wonderful Life. I'm always vlogging over there. And I will see you again very soon. Until then, happy knitting, happy crocheting, happy crafting. Bye.